You more than that. Look, you are more than that. You are actor, producer, writer, real estate developer, criminal consultant, entrepreneur, and recording artist. Woo woo! So let's get into it.
Awesome.
Yes. So tell our viewers who you are and a little bit about yourself. Your humble beginnings.
I'm Scott Hicks. I grew up in Boston, Mass. Child of a single mother. Was kind of born into a family, organized crime, Irish mob. Always had a passion for music, but my loyalties to street family kind of took precedence. So music was always just a hobby for me. And it cost me a couple of decades in prison. And I got out. And just kind of was looking to change my legacy, and just a lot of Hollywood stuff happened, producers and directors and screenwriters, and I guess people find my life interesting. And so we started filming a reality show about almost a year ago. Did some work for HBO, decided to branch out into some other stuff. My agent, Lene Bell at Bell & Hall in LA, has got me lined up. Some scripts to look at. There's a big call on Hollywood. A lot of screenwriters. I started doing some consulting to lend authenticity to some crime movies. And I got bored when the cameras left. I got used to having cameras around every day, and I called the executive producers up, and I'm like, "Well, what do we do now?" And they said, "Well, we're in post-production." I said, I was walking around this big house. I'm bored. So I called up my buddy, Mike Harmon at Wachusett Recording, who I've been recording music with off and on, when I'm not in prison. He said, well, I still have everything we've been working on. So went back in the studio for about 3 or 4 months, came up with an album. Rob Schwartz, Who Mag, worked out a deal with us, put a label together, Mobb Rock Records, all things. So, brought in band members too. We got Ryan Gio from LA, Jimmy Allen back in the corner over here. You're not hiding in the corner, kid. So, I had to, there goes your water, bud.
I know.
Yeah, anything on the floor belongs to the bulldog. If it's on the floor, it's his. So I reached out to some guys in the industry. Was asked to tour with Crazy Town X on a North American tour, which we go on next week. Yeah, October 26th is our first show, Boulder, Colorado, and I believe there's maybe 26, 28 shows, something like that. Yeah, at least 28 shows. I partnered up before Mobb Rock Records, myself, Coreleone Don from PYN and Wu-Tang Management. We partnered up with Giovanni Natali for Mobb Rock Records, and it's just kind of taken off. I mean, I don't consider myself and Mike, obviously, the guys are coming in now and they are phenomenal, and they play the music 100%. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting through this tour, doing the extension. I think they're talking about Europe in March for the tail end of it out there, but kind of looking forward to just getting back in the studio and getting creative input from these guys, because they're world-class musicians, and it's like, it's not fair to them. They just are basically playing what we came up with. So I'm curious to see what these guys have to bring to the table. Take some of the heavy lifting off me and Mike.
Okay, so this is your first. Were y'all in a studio session, or what were you brainstorming tonight?
No, this is my house. I flew you guys out from LA for rehearsal. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so y'all gonna rehearse for me or not?
Oh no, we're at the house. We were actually this morning. We were picking up all of the tour equipment down in the southern part of the state. I'm sorry, this is our mascot. He's insisting on.
What's his name?
This is Loki. He's going to be going on tour with us, but when I'm talking on doing interviews, he insists on being the center of attention and pulling on my. Go see your mama. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's like, I got camera time tonight. It's my time.
Daddy's looking. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, man. I've always been involved in real estate and development, stuff like that. My family's always been, into construction companies and real estate. So yeah.
So you kind of like a big deal, like you said, mob ties, life of crime, serving more than 20 years in prison. How did you leave that life behind once it was all said and done?
It was hard. It was hard for me because I only knew one way of life, and that was organized crime. And I spent 24 years in prison, half my life. And I guess I made a choice to walk away from everything. It was hard. When I got out, my uncle was aging, and he just passed away. He was 91. He passed away last November. He was the founder of the Irish Mobb, the Winter Hill Gang. So it kind of was a tough call on my part. My children are grown now. I have 2 grandchildren. My daughters and my sons kind of, they didn't have me growing up because when I was in prison, I didn't allow personal visits. I tried to distance myself from the world. And when I wasn't in prison, I dealt with what I call my shame, my guilt by drinking. So I was a really bad alcoholic, and it was the only way I could live with myself for some of the stuff I did. So I kind of, I had to make a choice to accept the fact that I was an alcoholic and address that and get sober. It'll be 2 years next month since I've had a drink. My life's never been better. I've got a great fiance. Ton of opportunities, just present themselves every day between, you guys got my bio there, I guess. So between the movies and books and music, I've always considered music a hobby, but I guess it's now my kind of full-time job. Because, they tell me that for the last couple of months, they've been chasing us around with cameras again, saying, hey, we're going to give you 2 shows now, one at your house and then one when you're on the road touring. So I enjoyed going to the studio, enjoyed making music. We did an interview, I think Monday night with the Music Doctors from the studio after 10 hours of rehearsals. I enjoyed the reception and the support we're getting from the industry. It's great because you see a lot of stuff that's contrived, or I guess they tell me now, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology, so there's nothing that we're doing that is, fabricated publicity. We don't reach out to anybody. I just, I got Rob Schwartz, he calls me and says, hey, do this, do that, and we just like the realness of it and the organic growth and, the support we get. It's like a grassroots type thing, guys. Yeah, grassroots.
Well, it's huge. Like your tour schedule is bananas. Like that's crazy in the middle of a pandemic.
Well, it's actually we have the Controlled Chaos tour. In December 15th, and then they're looking at I think 8 additional dates And then January 14th, 15th, 16th, we're doing which is our own tour. We just got the contract signed on that because I don't know, I figure I'm going to add promoter to my resume. I signed a contract for that. So it's funny is it's going to be called the FTW Rock Fest. So we're going to be bringing Crazy Town out with us to Maryland Theater in Hagerstown, Maryland, and then to Bad Habits in Martinsburg, West Virginia, O'Connell's in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and I think we've added Saving Abel to that lineup. But what we're doing is it's the initial 14th show on January 14th. That's going to be an all-day, 4 hours, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We're doing a battle of bands for local unsigned rock bands. And the winner we're going to have a celebrity guest panel of judges. Rob Schwartz is coming in from UMAG again. And we got some other guys. Myself, I'll be on the panel. My producer, Mike Harmon from Wachusett Recordings, coming in. I'm sure I'll tap one of these guys, probably, or both of these guys, for instrumentals. But what we're going to do is figure out who the winner is at the end. And I'm going to sign them to Mobb Rock Records, and then we're going to distribute them to Sony.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Rob Schwartz is the man.
That's my partner right there.
What's up? What's up?
You know, man.
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, it's my other partner. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel better now that you guys are here to take some of this attention off me, man, because I'm just trying to be the one that sings. And I'm not singing tonight.
Yeah. All right. Just chilling.
All right,
Take a
tell
little
me
break.
who you guys are.
Oh, I'm Coreleone, the vice president of Mobb Rock Records. This is Giovanni,
How you doing?
Hey.
one of the partners in Mobb Rock Records.
Okay, so we got the whole crew tonight, right? It's a treat.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad y'all said Mobb Rock Records more than once. That's the name of the label. So tell me about that.
Go ahead, Corleone.
You go ahead.
All right, so Mobb Rock Records is it's actually now that I've actually got the paperwork back from the attorneys, it's Mobb Rock Records and Multimedia Entertainment and Distribution Incorporated. Because that's going to, I guess that's what the lawyers told me we had to do, because it's more than just music. It's some television, it's some film. There's some book stuff coming out, so we just basically included everything in there. But more so than just a name, Mobb Rock is it's a genre that we've created in music. I went through multiple discussions with Rob Schwartz and Sony on this. They were trying to categorize us, and he's, it's, well, you're not nu metal, and you're not rap rock, you're not this, and you're not. What do you call it? I said, it's just Mobb Rock, man.
Mobb Rock. That's all it is.
It's just Mobb Rock. I mean, it's real music for real people. And I think that, after, doing the interview with the Music Doctors Monday, man, they were like, it doesn't really matter whether you're a rock fan or a hip hop fan or a country fan. It really doesn't matter. It's real music. And, I'm just, making it real simple for people when I write the lyrics. I don't try to overcomplicate things. We don't try to overproduce things. We just keep it, I speak to what I think is my view on a lot of things in the world today. And one of the records on the album in particular was the first single we released. It was Genocide. I wrote that song for, I was watching the Derek Chauvin trial, and and I just thought I had to talk about police brutality and racial injustice, and the song means a lot to me, and it's, I think that I just said what a lot of people are thinking, and I didn't care who I offended. Namely, we went 10 rounds with the producers of the TV network. They told me if you release that song and that video, we're killing your TV show.
Wow.
I released it, and after a 48-hour stalemate, they said, okay, well, we thought it would be worse than that with a backlash, and it wasn't. So, long story short, I ended up with a second show out of it. So.
So what was the creative like? I know from the trials, but it took a lot of thought to do the video. So how did you compile everything for that creative process?
I partnered up with Polymore and Joey Politics on that, who does all of Gucci Man and Neo's videos. Mm-hmm. And they came to the house. Coreleone was here for that. And I said, well, I don't want to focus on a band or coming to the studio, because I don't want to take away from the message. Mm-hmm. So we decided to, instead of manifesting something, I said, let's just use the truth. If my words are the truth of what's happening, use the truth. Let's use actual footage from around the world of what's transpiring, what really goes on. And that was where we came up with that idea. And of course, they wanted to just get me to go back in the studio real quick and just put a face to it real quick. I didn't want to take away from the gravity of the song, the message I was trying to convey. And when I wrote the lyrics, I didn't use any profanity. So I was trying to make sure they couldn't say, that's explicit. And well, if the truth hurts, it hurts. But there it is. That's what's happening. I'm not using fiction to paint the picture, or tell the story. I'm using a harsh reality of what's happening in cities across America and around the world. And if you watch the video, you'll see there's some international scenes in there. Because I'm not saying all law enforcement's bad, because it's not. I'm just thinking that there's a lot of abuse. I mean, I've been on the end of that Billy stick and tear gas a few times. Not saying I didn't deserve it, but sometimes I didn't. It's
well, I ain't deserved mine, so I.
That's what I was like. I know you lying. I know you lying. So my question is, what makes you all gel together cohesively? Like, what significant role do you all play to make the label work?
Basically, the label is basically built on honesty, truth, and family. Mm-hmm. Like each one of us, we all brothers, and like we really live like family. We all go over Sean's house, raid the refrigerator, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the whole label's built on. It's more than just business with us. It's really about us being, real, wanting to put out something that's, very, very good and standard with the people. And at the same time share our experiences and our love for music with the world also.
Okay, and what about bandmates in the back?
Yeah, guys, you can speak for yourself, man. Why did you want to be part of Testhuman and associated with Mobb Rock Records?
You can go first, Jay.
So, I heard about the project a month ago through a mutual contact of ours, and I saw the video Genocide, and I was right away just sucked into the energy. It was fire.
And I was like, wow, this is something fresh. No one's doing this. This guy is honest. It's real. There's not a phony fiber in that music. It's just all true energy being portrayed. It's even got pain in it, which I noticed. I can kind of relate to some of that myself. And that's honest, man. This guy's bearing his soul for you in this music. And not too many artists do that these days, because it's like he said, it's so just prefab music, just, you know, throwing it to walls to sell. Nope, next, prefab that. Does that stick? No. We're bound to hit one of these days, but I was just captivated by the music. And then after I got into the music, I researched a little bit about Sean and his past, and I found it inspiring. I mean, the guy's, you know, beyond ambitious and just way too much energy for his own good, but it's infectious. It's rubbing off on me to pour that into the music now, and I'm just feeding off his energy, and I think he's feeding off a little bit of ours as well. As we starting to get the songs now in rehearsal, I can see him just really just loving it. It's finally coming to fruition on the band level, and now he can feel, oh, this is gonna really like be powerful. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity. I'm honored to be part of the project. There's not a lot of projects that come your way like this. It's definitely one of those once in a lifetime. Don't miss the boat. Don't blink. Don't hesitate, or you'll lose the race.
Wow. That was a mouthful.
Well, and he's a guitarist.
You know, he mentioned a lot of things that I relate to as well. As why I wanted to join Testhuman. And you know, a big part of it too was the uniqueness of the sound. It's a genre that's not been done before, and it's a lot of fun to play. But more importantly, the message that comes across in the lyrics and the music that needs to be out there. And so to be part of something like that, you know, is just awesome. And that's one of the biggest reasons why.
So how does that work? Sorry, my dogs are turning up. So how does that work with you guys in partnership with Rob Schwartz with two separate labels?
Rob is, well, aside from being a business partner, Rob has become a good friend of mine and Coreleone's. Coreleone it made the introduction with Rob to me. Rob heard the music, we met, and he goes, man, you know I'm a diehard boom bap guy, but this has something very special, and I've been doing this long enough to know I need to be involved with this, because this is not just music. This is game changing. You're creating an entire new genre of music, and you're not following anybody. You will be the originator of this and be followed, but it's your message. You're not just saying things over the instrumental. You're telling a story, and every song is telling a story of reality that is relatable to somebody in the world, no matter color, race, religion, or creed.
Okay. So my next question, when y'all did, I want to know your next single that's coming out behind Genocide. But when y'all did Genocide, did the oh shit meter go off? Like, what was your first thought when you created it?
Well, we Coreleone lives in Maryland, the same as Giovanni, and basically my house becomes when Corleone's not home. I'd probably say he spends 3/4 of his time lives in my in-law apartment downstairs, where the production crew lives when they're filming the reality show. So when we were getting ready to release Genocide, I basically I was told not to. And as soon as they told me not to, I called everybody together and said, it's going out, let's just get it out now. Because now I'm told not to, because I was basically told by, I can't say who because I will get sued, but I was told by a network executive. He said, man, listen, he said, why are you trying to stir up what happened with George Floyd? That's a year ago, let it die. And that really infuriated me, that someone could be so callous as to just discount not only a human being's life, but a human being who was murdered. So I made it a point to basically put my money where my mouth was, because they threatened to pull the plug on my show, and which would have cost me millions of dollars a year. And at that point, it wasn't about that. It was about the principle of, nope, I'm going to put this out and dedicate this song to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Andrew Brown, and I'm doing it. Because I think it was something that needed to be kept alive in honor of the countless number beyond those three that have fallen victim to what I call the genocide.
And what do you all feel about it? Like, y'all like, okay, it's done. Like, we running with it.
We as Giants coach Tom Coughlin would say, we all in. You know, it ain't no turning back. You know, we gonna speak the truth. We gonna stand up for what we believe in. We gonna bring it to you in our music, and our music is always gonna be good, and you know the people gonna love it. But the message behind it is what's gonna catch everybody.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like the hand up Mona Lisa's dress. We are surprised they don't see us coming.
A big surprise, a huge surprise. Okay. So, what's the next single? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, actually, October 1st, Rob, we actually put out the EP Genocide,
Okay.
which is 6 records. And out of the 6, 4 are getting on rotation globally. So
when you said on rotation globally, it's just going to be playing on, is it that radio airplay or internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's on regular FM.
Okay. What? Okay.
So we have we've got Average Joe, which is my working man's anthem. That's the working man's anthem.
Got Darkness.
What else? We got Darkness.
We got Darkness, Average Joe, Genocide, and Say What You Want.
Say What You Want, Do What You Will. What else we got on there, guys? Gen X.
Forever 18.
And Forever 18.
Forever 18.
Yeah, now I get inspiration from the weirdest things. I was watching I think it was CNN, and I caught a flash real quick, and I had it on mute, and I turned it on because it was a very emotionally distraught woman being comforted by her husband. And they were clearly on a dairy farm, I would say, in Iowa somewhere. And she was crying, and when I started to listen to the story, she was talking about her 18-year-old son who had just enlisted into the service. And on his first day of deployment into Afghanistan, he was shot in the neck by a sniper, and he bled out in the desert. And I kind of put myself into that situation as best as possible artistically, and I said, what did this poor little, this 18-year-old kid that came from, a dairy farm life, what was going through his mind as he laid in the desert looking up at the sun as his life's blood was pumping out of his neck?
Wow.
So that's kind of, I visualized the whole song as I wrote it in a video form. And basically it's talking about the government. The lyrics in the song, they reflect that, America's wasted fetus, the oil fields that feed us. Talks about the politicians. But the chorus is what kind of, brings me home for that song is he's asking God to forgive him for signing on the line to help take part in the government's crime. And he's just asking God to take him into heaven's gates.
Okay. I mean, it's sad, but.
You know something? It's sad, but it's reality again.
Right.
The same with Average Joe. I wrote that because of the amount of people who are losing their homes to foreclosure during the pandemic. And the third verse, again, I talk about that. Mother cried when my father died.
Mm-hmm.
House was closed, he had too much pride. Took his last dollar and he bought a gun. Kissed my mom and said, I love you, son. Please forgive what's already done. No will, just a note. Written in his own blood. He told me not to vote. You're just an average Joe. Because I think that, a lot of my music is politically charged. Because I see a lot of middle-class America pretty much on the endangered species list, man.
Right.
You're either rich or you're poor. There's no more middle class. So what happened to the American dream? And I think back to what my grandfather, when he immigrated to this country almost 100 years ago, and worked his ass off to start a construction company in 1929. And this was a land of opportunity. It was a land of dreams. He came here to make a life and raise a family and live the American dream. So where is that American dream now? When you've got the Zuckerbergs and the Bezoses of the world who are multi-billionaires that haven't paid a federal tax in years. There's something wrong with that. When you've got your average Joe who works 50, 60 hours a week to support his family, try to put his children through school and pay his mortgage, and he has to come home at the end of the week and put his paycheck on the table and ask his wife what bill to pay because we can't pay them all. Something wrong with that.
Right, I agree. Been saying that.
It's a reality though, right?
Right. It's
a reality. And
scary.
again, it doesn't matter what color you are, it's a reality because in my mind, poverty and oppression is colorblind. I don't ever look at, like I say, Coreleone, that's my brother, man. He lives in my house. He got keys to my house, man. Because I don't want him waking me up when he comes in. Because he comes in at crazy hours. No, I'm just kidding. That's family, you know what I mean? I look at everybody, we're all here in the same, it's just, it's one big ball of dirt. Why can't we come together? And that's where I'm at with it, man. And I do like to piss off the government when I write lyrics. I am not gonna lie, I do.
Who don't?
We were out in LA a few months ago, and we're doing an interview on a TV show, and we can't get away from the Rage Against the Machine comparison. So I'm good with that because I told the interviewer, I said, well, I'd rather be compared to Rage Against the Machine. As long as they don't ever compare me with Vanilla Ice, I am cool.
Somebody said, not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
No, we just you know what it is I think a lot of the attention we're getting is because whenever I'm told I can't do something, I need to do something the way everyone else is doing, I just do it. That's the worst thing you do is tell me not to do something. So like they got GoPros in my house too when we're not recording. And the editors and the producers were telling me, you know, like my phone rang one time like 3 in the morning and I was like, what? No, don't call me. They're doing the audio stuff and they're like, they call me the next morning like, did you just really hang up on Clive Davis? I said, yes, I did. Why? Because he threw dollar amounts at me. And I guess they thought they could just buy me. I mean, I'm not on the shelf, and it's not a.
You got no price tags. Tell them.
There's no price tag. Yeah.
Not for sale.
I'm not for sale.
God, we ain't got no. Can't buy us off.
No, can't buy me off. No.
Well, that's huge. That's a compliment in itself. Although you went divergent. That's a huge compliment that he's checking for you. So you are on the radar for sure, for certain.
Yeah. Well, you know something? I'd rather be on this radar than on the federal government's radar for the past, because I mean, I used to piss my lawyers off like that. They'd call me up and they'd say, did you really just walk out to the FBI and try and give them coffee? I said, well, they're sitting in front of the house. I might as well, man. I'm having coffee. So no, I don't mind being on this radar now.
Right.
Everybody like coffee.
Yes.
Well, but no, it's funny is Coreleone will tell you, I really don't care. I don't do this to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I really don't. But I'm hoping to ultimately inspire somebody. Because when it comes to being the ultimate underdog, I'd say people that say, oh, well, I got a record, I can't get a job. Well, that's bullshit, because everybody that works for my construction company is either a recovering addict or an ex-offender. Right. Because I'm going to take that excuse off the table. My guys will tell you, this is my band, and when I'm not doing stuff musically with them, I'm still running my grandfather's construction company because it's a legacy thing for me and I won't give it up. So I'm not above putting a tool pouch on if my guys need help on a construction site. So yeah, I work 18 hours a day, but I'm trying to influence people where, reality is whatever you want it to be. You can change your reality at any moment. You just really have to work at it. You have to want it. You have to want it. We do a lot of interviews, and I do them in establishments. Obviously, they serve alcohol where we perform. So, I mean, it's like, I know I can't drink. So when I'm drinking, I'm not thinking. I just want to show people that, you can overcome. You really can. And, if I reach just one person, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that.
You reached Clive Davis, that's for sure. So, where can our viewers follow you guys? Each of you, are you under the one band page, or where are you?
I'm gonna do that with the Coreleone, because I'm a dinosaur on that stuff.
Rock.net. Our website is currently being worked on. But also, if you go on Sean Scott Hicks, you just type in Sean Scott Hicks anywhere in Google, you can find everything you want. And we also have the Testhuman for the band and everything. That site's being worked on also, but you type in Testhuman on any platform and all the music will come up. The videos will come up. As far as myself, you type in Coreleone under Coreleone, Coreleone, Coreleone Records, or Coreleone Don. I'll pop up in Google and everywhere like that. But like I said, PopRock.net worked on right now.
Alright, so we got it. Thank you guys for letting me into your evening, and I'm gonna follow you guys on Instagram if that's cool.
Yes, man.
My IG is Dirty Water Diaries. and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to put that out, but that's the name of the reality show that's coming out.
Oh, okay. I can dig
So you
it.
can follow us on that, and it's when I'm an empathetic person, and I screwed up on the time of this, but we actually have our bass player coming in. He's a 21-year-old kid that I'm giving a shot.
Okay.
He's not a world-class musician like these guys, but in my mind, I said, look at this, man. This kid's 21. This might be his biggest dream to go on this tour with us. This might be his only tour.
Right.
But I'm gonna give him that opportunity because it might be the highlight of the night.
I love it. Well, y'all get ready to light it up, though. I mean, like I said, this is probably the longest tour. Like of all the interviews I've done this year, y'all have the longest tour in the midst of the pandemic. So that's quite impressive.
Thank you so much for taking the time, man. It's we want to entertain people and just get the message out. It's Mobb Rock, man.
Facts.
Mobb Rock.
Mobb Rock.
I love it.
Testhuman. Testhuman. Life is a test, and we're all humans.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Average Joes, baby.
Average
Joe.
Joe.
Now, ain't nothing average about y'all, but we're gonna run with it. Thank you.
Welcome, man. Thank you so much. God bless.